All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Garage Talk Sports. I'm Mills,
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Nick.
and we're back in the garage bringing you guys another episode. The time of football is behind us for a little bit. We had all of our draft recap, all of the fun times with that conversation and those topics. Now it's time to dive into some other sports. Specifically, today we have MLB and NBA talk for you. Just going to give some updates about current division standings, everything like that. Share our thoughts on our favorite teams, our favorite picks for MVP right now. Grant, obviously still way too early to make these predictions, but we figure everyone does it in sports, way too early predictions. Why not keep it going? And then we have some good rule change debates that we might talk about as well. And then we'll throw it to NBA. I'm going to let Nick kind of take over that one when the time comes. That's his sport. He really loves talking about it. But without further ado, guys, let's get into it.
All right, so we got AL leaders, Red Sox, White Sox, Athletics, and we got NL, Mets, Cardinals, and the Giants.
Yeah. The big thing that stands out to me there is the Giants.
This is the only team I'm surprised by.
Yeah, that is, if I'm being honest, the Giants caught me off guard.
Mets a little bit too.
They were on paper. The Mets were supposed to be doing this well.
Yeah, but I mean,
I wouldn't like the East for me is one of those things where it doesn't really surprise me who's on top. Like if the Orioles were on top or the Marlins were on top, I'd be surprised. But pretty much the other four teams in there, I'm not really surprised. It's like the Giants in the West. Like that is very surprising. So
the Giants in the West,
definitely surprising.
I don't know how sustainable it is. I mean, obviously they're going to benefit from the Dodgers going on this crazy. What are they like? What's their record?
I don't know, but
oh my gosh,
beat the Mariners yesterday.
I think it's
like
2-5. I think they've lost like 15 games out of their last 20 or something like that.
I mean, the Cubs swept them.
The Dodgers, I don't know what happened there. They were just running into some problems. Luckily, it's a full 162 games this year, not just the 60. So plenty of time to bounce back from that.
Yeah, true.
That begs the question, though, looking at the standings right now, specifically with the Giants being in there, are these the best teams in the division?
I don't think so.
All right, all of them or just specific ones?
Well, I mean, the Giants for sure. And the Mets. I don't think they're the best.
I thought you were going to go Cardinals for a second.
I mean, yeah, of course. Cardinals should not be there.
I don't know. For me, it's the Cardinals are tough I feel like the Brewers and Cardinals should probably take that division.
Yeah, I
would argue that the Cardinals are slightly better.
Yeah, when it comes to the NL Central, that's got to be one of the most wide open divisions to win.
Oh, Cubs?
Yeah, anyways. So I feel like that's got to be one of the most wide open divisions to win. I honestly wouldn't have been shocked to see Cardinals, Cubs, or Brewers leading the division at this point in the season. It's a long season, plenty of time to see what happens there, but I imagine we're going to see the most changes that's going to be the race to watch out of all the divisions, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Possibly the NL East, depending on if the Braves can kind of bounce back. They've gone cold here and there, haven't had the greatest start to the season. The Phillies,
the Phillies are always like that.
Yeah, and then the Mets on paper were supposed to be the team running the division.
Yeah.
So I'm not shocked by it.
Their bats haven't really been there. I mean, especially
Francisco Lindor.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at DeGrom has like pretty much almost every time he pitches, he gets one run.
I know. DeGrom is just
which he's so dominant to the point where you can score 2 or 3 runs and you should get the win.
Yeah. But you got to pick up the slack a little bit. I mean, yeah, he's good enough to carry that load, but don't make him do it every game.
I mean, yeah, I feel like their pitching has just been pretty exceptional for what it's been. I mean, especially DeGrom, he's been hurt the last couple games. He pulled himself from his last start.
I mean, but it's been like this with the Mets going back to when they went to the World Series in 2015.
Yeah.
The pitching staff has always been a big thing for them. Their bullpen has always been a joke. Yeah. DeGrom's always been a stud.
Diaz, one of the most pissed off of a trade's ever been with the Mariners because he saved like 54 games. And they traded him next season. Looking so smart now because he blows saves worse than like Cubs pitchers and like like that
worse than Kimbrel when he first came to the Cubs.
Kimbrel when he first came to the Cubs and like the Cubs in like 2011 to like 2014. The Cubs went through like 15 closers like per season because it was like they threw out a guy, he would blow a save. So then they throw out another guy, he would also blow the save.
Yeah,
it's like Edwin Diaz should be good, but he just blows almost every game that he can for the Mets.
It's kind of like Alex Colomé over in Minnesota. He was the White Sox closer for a few years, and I was never really convinced on it because he gave up a lot of hard contact. and his barrel rate was pretty high for a closer. So I just felt it was a ticking time bomb. It was a matter of time before all the good luck kind of wears out, and now he's starting to get hit. He's blown a few saves early already, more than he's blown in his 3 years as the White Sox closer this year. He is just, teams have started to figure him out a little bit. He always made me sweat it out at the end of games because he was so, it didn't pass the eye test, right? You were like, this man is one bad pitch away from just blowing up on an inning. But yeah, the Giants, like we all said, very surprising team there.
I mean, another one is the Athletics, dude. They were like dominating the division.
I'm not surprised by that.
I'm not surprised by it. I'm just surprised by
like how
the fact that no one else is kind of making, like, it looks like the A's are like the front runners for the whole division for the whole season. It's still early, but it's just,
the Mariners did look hot for a while, but I mean they've kind of come back down now.
Come back down to earth.
Yeah.
I've always been sold on the Athletics. When we talked about it a few episodes back and we shared our early who we thought was going to win the division before the season even started back on opening weekend.
Yeah, you did.
I've always thought the Athletics were close to taking that division.
Yeah.
The Astros had not dominated it, but did just enough to, beat the Athletics in the standings. And I just felt like this was the year for them. Obviously, though, plenty of baseball left. I'm not going to speak in absolutes
we're
like
only
they are going to
a
win.
fourth into the season. So
I would say the only team that really surprising where you could not argue that they're the best team in the division is the Giants. I mean, there's teams where you can be like, oh, it should be this team over that team. Like you get to the AL and NL East where it's like, oh, you could say the Braves or you could say the Yankees. I'm
still thinking the Blue Jays could pull it off.
I was about to ask you. Yeah, do you still think they can?
The Blue Jays have talent. They're young, right? Yeah. And so I believe when it comes to the Blue Jays, they're going to need like one of those really hot runs that every team goes on to kind of define their season.
Yeah, I mean,
like when you look back on the Indians in 2016 when they went to the World Series, I'm pretty sure they went on like a 20-game win streak or something like that. Yeah. And that was like the division was kind of back and forth, and then they ran away with it.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, they're only 2.5 games back right now.
They can do it. They're one good. Watch them. Just watch out. I think they're going to be players for a good pitcher.
Yeah.
If they can add one more good starting pitcher to that rotation, I think we could possibly see them win that division. Yeah. I do believe that they will be. I think they could at the very least be a wild card team. But I'm still going to stand firm on them winning the division.
Watch out for the Yankees. They had a rough start, but they're coming back now.
I feel like that division's always tough because, like, really, you could see the Yankees pulling away and just winning. The Rays were in the World Series last year, and I mean, they had a chance to win it.
About the Rays.
So, like,
that's a good division.
They really haven't changed. Like, the Rays, besides getting rid of Blake Snell and him going to San Diego, they're pretty much the same team that they were for a World Series team.
But I feel like their pitching just.
But they find a way in Tampa.
I don't know. They just.
It's weird too this year because it's not such a short season. Where it's like, if the Rays capitalize on the Yankees having a bad couple weeks, it's like, okay, you're pretty much. Set yourself off. Now you can
it's the long game now.
You could have 3-4 bad weeks, not in a row, but like 3 or 4 bad weeks throughout the season. You can still, win by 2 or 3 games come to the end.
Yeah, that's another division. Honestly, there's 4 teams right there we just listed that could be in the running for it. I mean, Tampa, fresh off of a World Series appearance. Who's to say they don't figure it out? Yeah, losing Blake Snell kind of hurt, but they're still.
But same thing.
They've been doing it for how long though? With lesser talent than the rest of the division.
I feel like the same thing. You look at the A's are pretty much a similar. Those cheap budget teams that don't spend a lot.
It's Moneyball,
but they're finding the guys who can. I mean, like all you have to do is really hit the ball and not give up more than like 2 or 3 runs, and you pretty much have a chance to win every game.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. I like rooting for the smaller market teams. I've always been a fan of what Tampa has done with their payroll versus the Red Sox and the Yankees in the same division.
Yeah, no.
Like 3 times their payroll
that's where it always comes down to me. Like if the Mariners aren't in the playoffs, which they normally aren't, and the Cubs and Sox are out, like when it was the Dodgers versus Rays, like 2 players on the Dodgers were more than the entire payroll of the Rays.
Exactly.
Of course I'm rooting for the Rays to win.
Like, of course.
Yeah.
You're paying your entire team less than 2 guys. And yes, I want them to win.
Yeah. I agree completely. That's why I've been rooting for the Athletics so much.
Yeah.
Because
Moneyball. Sure.
Good movie for those who haven't seen it.
Oh, I
Highly
would-
recommend.
Brad
Brad
for
Pitt,
sure.
once again, very
Wow,
good.
You guys said Brad Pitt at the exact same time. That was,
Hey,
Did we really?
yeah.
Hey, I'm a big fan of Brad Pitt, dude. He's been in,
And you know what? Jonah Hill. Let's
oh yeah, Jonah Hill too. I do
Sleeper
like
in that
Jonah Hill.
movie.
Sleeper.
But yeah,
Hey,
the biggest disappointment in that whole movie is when I looked it up and found out Jonah Hill's character is fictional.
what?
Yeah, he's not a real person.
yeah, they just pretty much get the idea from the book that Jonah Hill is reading in that. But like,
Oh,
Yeah, he's not like a
so,
real.
yeah.
Like Brad Pitt didn't like. Well,
No,
no.
Okay, so
Billy
Billy
Bean
Bean.
didn't go and find someone.
No,
Like,
Billy
no.
Bean didn't find someone. He
No, dude. So
basically this is the true story of it, if I remember correctly. Billy Bean did like all this research, right, for it, and decided I'm gonna try this and like try and make it popular. And what they did in the movie is they used Jonah Hill as a character to basically represent all of the research.
wow.
yeah. 'Cause
I'm cool with it.
It
It
would have
bums
turned
me out
it
'cause
would
I
have
would
turned a
have
movie
loved.
into like another hour long, explaining like how Billy Bean just researched. All
Yeah,
this.
it
but
makes it more of a movie.
I thought there was just a
I don't remember his name, so-
statistics savant that
Yeah.
that just changed the game of baseball. Now it's
No,
just,
I mean there
No.
technically was
No.
because the book that was written that Moneyball came stemmed from was a statistician, not anywhere related to sports.
Yeah.
But
just-
it just yeah.
That's
It
just
was
mind-blowing.
it was
It's
just
Hollywood
for it was
stuff.
Hollywood being Hollywood, but good movie still.
great
Yeah.
movie.
Jonah
Hey,
Hill does a great job. Brad Pitt, we all know he does
Hey,
a great job. in
favorite
everything.
Brad Pitt movie, Fight Club. Just saying.
Fight Club.
Yeah, Fight Club.
It's a good pick.
That's a
It's a
solid
great
one.
movie. I'm just saying. Yeah, watch
But
that. if you
we're
haven't
getting
watched
we're getting
Yeah,
off track
we're
here.
on track.
I
No,
always
the
root
thing-
for the Moneyball teams. Real quick, I wanted to mention something about the Athletics. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but they have actually started floating the rumor of looking to relocate
that. Yes, I saw that.
if the city of Oakland doesn't approve a new stadium.
Yeah.
and
so
That's something to watch.
you know where the number one destination is?
Tennessee, Nashville.
Nashville.
Yep.
No, that'd be I would like to see
I
that
think
one.
move them to Nashville. They'd get more fans.
The only
in
thing is, like,
Nashville.
I like Ricky Henderson Field. I like the way it's set up. It's kind of a weird baseball stadium. How it,
Yeah, it's
like because they have like
But
in
I
like
think
left
there's, like-
field, it's just stairs to go down because it's used for football, like
Right.
seats and stuff like that. So like it's just a
it's the
weird.
Coliseum.
It doesn't make sense. It's kind of like the old Twins.
USC.
No, not.
It's the old like Twin Stadium where
It's
like,
weird.
The entire right field is
Oh,
just
the
like
Metrodome.
yeah.
Yeah,
So it's just
I
like
love
it
the
really doesn't make
Metrodome.
sense for seating and stuff, but like
They,
it looks cool. Like you
Yeah,
wanna see it.
exactly.
They need it. I think they need a new stadium though.
No, I think there's a bunch of regulations that like.
Well, you struggled with regulation.
Regulations,
Yeah, I did
yeah.
regulations.
Oh,
But no, I think like there's been like injuries and everything, so that's why they are petitioning for a new stadium.
yeah. They also don't have a bullpen there.
Yeah, it's in the. I think they're one of the last.
Wrigley
MLB.
Field doesn't have a bullpen.
Nope, they
either.
moved them underneath
Yeah,
the
no, they moved-
bleachers.
yeah,
Oh, they're under
Yeah.
the bleachers.
I'm pretty sure that
Yeah, I
didn't
Oakland
know.
A's and
because they moved
the
in like
San
the
Francisco Giants are the only two teams left in baseball that have the bullpens on the actual field. Where they're actually
I thought the Giants' new stadium has bullpens.
no Giants. They have bullpens just on the side, like Wrigley Field
Wow.
used to be.
Yeah.
Unless
Tampa?
it's changed
I think
since
Tampa had no.
No, I don't think so.
Tampa might because they have
I don't.
the pool.
I don't think they have bullpens.
or they have
at
the
Tropicana.
Stingray tent. So it might be the three teams.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a very
Okay, but let's be real. Tropicana needs to go.
yeah because of the stupid
The
catwalks.
Yeah.
Which
Oh my gosh, that just catch balls and don't drop them.
if you ever want to go on YouTube and look at because the farther catwalk away from the middle is in play, but there's a smaller catwalk that's farther up that's not in play. So if the ball does hit it, they have to review it, and now that they have video review, they have to video review it. And if it hits the upper catwalk, it's out of play, so it's a foul ball.
Yeah,
but if it hits the lower one, it's in play. So
that
if
stadium
falls
is
down-
so bad,
if
Yeah,
it falls down,
and it's a
in play,
white ceiling too.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wh-
dude, that has
baseball-
to be terrible for outfielders.
Yeah.
Which is so amazing that Kevin Kiermaier is so good in center field because that's his home state. Like he plays there all the time and he
Yeah,
plays fine.
Tropicana needs to go. Oakland, they need
Oakland
a new,
needs some up. Yeah, I think they need a new stadium.
they need a
Yeah.
new stadium. It's nothing against the current one, but it's old, it's outdated.
Yeah,
I think this is all smoke though. I don't think they're gonna leave.
I don't really see
They're-
them leaving
I-
Oakland, but
I
also there's
think
a lot
it's
of teams.
more realistic than you're thinking.
There's a lot of teams in California, so it's almost like if we do move, like we know.
Yeah, they're gonna have to. move
Here's how
out.
I think about it. Right, Oakland just lost the Raiders. Maybe this is.
Didn't they
maybe-
lose the Warriors too? Didn't the Warriors move to like San Francisco?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That-
about that.
I'm gonna look it
I'm
up.
not
I'm
sure.
gonna look it up while
Look
you
it up
finish
real
your
quick.
thing.
But yeah, I figure Oakland probably doesn't want to lose
Yeah,
another team.
Yeah, because
so maybe they might approve a new stadium. Either way, I think they need a new stadium. It would be cool for them to go to Nashville.
That would be really cool.
The Warriors moved from Oakland to San Francisco, which is right across the bay.
How long ago?
2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oakland needs to do everything to keep them.
Yeah, they are definitely.
Especially, you don't want to see. It's the Oakland Athletics, right? That's just a team as old as time, basically.
And it's one of those teams where, like, it was the Golden State Warriors. It was the Oakland Raiders was actually Oakland, but it's like you're gonna lose every connection of Oakland anything.
Yeah, but I think they would do well in Nashville.
You know where they need to go? Nevada, Las Vegas.
Just follow the
Raiders.
They shared a stadium for
exactly.
No, Nashville would fit them well.
Yeah,
you can just put them right there in the central.
I would like a baseball team in Nashville. You got the country music that's big down there, but like a lot of Nashville's a big city, or it's turning into a bigger city. Yeah. I think there's a market. There's got to be a market for a
there's a market
team.
for sure.
Because what's the closest team? The Braves
for Nashville. Cardinals maybe.
Yeah, the Cardinals, I guess.
I'm not. My geography's not.
Yeah,
the greatest. I'm not going to tell you what cities
I'm pretty
are
sure,
closest.
but yeah, there's like
either
no
way,
anywhere near there.
It's not close enough to where you could be like, hey, let's go to a baseball game tonight.
Yeah. No, that would be cool.
Nashville's good. You move them to Nashville, right? You can just honestly put them in the AL Central, and you could shuffle Kansas City into the AL West if you wanted. They're already in the already in the AFC West for the Chiefs in the NFL.
Yeah.
So you could do it.
I feel like that's going to be the more confusing thing if they move to Nashville is what to do with the divisions.
I think it's that simple. Yeah. Just trade them in Kansas City. I don't like Kansas City. It would suck because the White Sox would lose some easy wins every year.
Yeah, exactly. That would be good for
AL
Kansas
Central
City.
would be insane because it would be if Oakland and Kansas City flopped places.
It would be nuts.
That would be 4 teams that really are like legitimate chance.
It would turn into the AL. Just be bottom.
It would turn into the AL East and NL East because there would be 4 teams that really have a legitimate shot to win every year.
Yeah,
consistently.
Either way, we'll see how it all plays out. I'm sure Oakland's going to do everything they can to keep them. Yeah. They don't want to lose their last standing team.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, no, that's kind of cool. Yeah.
It'd be interesting. Nashville, do you change the name? Do you rebrand? Do you stick with the Athletics? I don't know.
You'd have to just kind of change the name.
If you did, so if you change the name.
Are you bringing up Utah Jazz again?
What?
That's what we talked about bad team names.
Yeah,
and it was Oakland A's, and you didn't like the Utah Jazz. So
oh, yeah. Well, no, so you'd have to do something with Nashville, though. I don't know what it would be. Yeah, it has to be some kind of play on the music scene.
Yeah, you would have to.
The Ring of Fires, Johnny Cash.
Yeah, right. You could be the Nashville Notes and just their logo, like similar to the St. Louis Blues logo, just like a music note. Whatever. Tweet at us. What do you think the Oakland Athletics name should change to if they were to go to Nashville?
Yeah, I like that.
Or leave it in the comments of our YouTube video.
Or
what
city would you want to see a baseball team in?
Yeah, or what city they should move to. I think
Fairbanks, Alaska. That would be wild.
Some people might say Louisville just because Louisville Sluggers there. I just don't know if it's big enough to really bring.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's really small.
It might be able to just because it would be the only pro team there, and it's Louisville Slugger.
Yeah, I feel like there you just go with like the Louisville Sluggers, and then
honestly you might. But to me, Nashville or Louisville would make the most sense. Nashville first, just because bigger market. More prepared and better equipped to handle another professional team.
Yeah,
I would like to see just them stay in Oakland and have just a nicer stadium.
Oh yeah. No,
just a total revamp, kind of like the Braves. They got rid of Turner Field, now they're at Truist Park.
Mm-hmm.
You got some of the other teams starting to move and make like nicer parks.
Yeah, no, and I would prefer them to stay in Oakland just for the sake of making everything easier, the sake of history and everything with the league.
The only stadium that I would hate if they got rid of actually, Wrigley Field.
There's a couple for me.
I love Wrigley Field.
I don't like Wrigley Field all that much.
Dude,
like
it's a
Wrigley
landmark.
Field,
it won't go anywhere, and I respect it for what it is. But honestly, I think if we're comparing all the really old stadiums, Fenway's way cooler.
Yeah, Fenway. I would go Fenway, Camden Yards, and then Wrigley is probably my least favorite out of those 3. Like
Wrigley's your least favorite
out of those 3.
Wrigley's cool. Don't get me wrong, and what I like is how it's just in a neighborhood.
Yeah,
but that's how all the old Fenway's in a neighborhood.
Yeah.
They're all the old ones are like that, which is cool.
The best part about Fenway, and I feel like Chicago needs to do it with Wrigley, is Fenway will close down the 4 streets around Fenway Park, and that's where you check in. You don't check in the actual stadium. You check in at the corner
I didn't know
of the
that.
street that it's on, and then the street has a bunch of hot dog vendors outside. So then before
Wrigley could benefit from that because everything is really crammed in there. That's my big issue.
The only problem Wrigley has with that is how Boston doesn't really have a lot of bars on right around to where Wrigley would have to be careful with because you would want people to still come to the bars.
You'd have to find a way to manage it. It'd be weird. A lot of logistics. We don't get paid to do that, though, so it's not our job to figure it out if it happens. No, it's nothing against Wrigley. I just I like newer and more modern things.
You like Guaranteed Rate?
I don't like the name.
You love that name.
I don't like
the name.
I don't like the name, but the stadium doesn't suck.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of stuff. It's got a lot of entertainment value there.
The park for me, Guaranteed Rate, name terrible. Stadium just kind of it's there.
It's an MLB stadium.
It's got the bullpens right over the fence.
It's not going to wow you, but I'll tell you what, they have very good food options there.
The ice cream helmet.
The ice,
and nacho helmet. I mean, if you
they have a lot of
you get a free helmet with your food.
They have a lot of good food options. The Goose Island bar area is pretty cool.
That was a cool addition.
The Goose Island bar was a cool addition. There's all kinds of. It's got.
No, I've been there a bunch.
I like it. Wrigley could benefit from some more stuff in the stadium, but it's hard because of the construction of it. You can't expand anywhere. That's why I like Nick's idea, or maybe the bars on game day become the Goose Island bar.
Yeah.
Something similar where they just set up a tent outside.
Yeah.
I don't know. What are we talking about?
Well, what we're talking about next.
All right, Lori, just call us. We can organize this whole thing for Wrigley or whoever's in charge of that. The Ricketts? No, I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, go on. Sorry. Ignore me.
So we're going to go to our MVP. We've already talked about divisional players or divisional teams. Now we can talk about who can you see winning the MVP? They might be having a down year right now. For me, I'm looking at 2 guys who are actually playing very well at the moment. I'm looking at Ronald Acuna in the NL.
He's having a great year.
He's batting over 300, which I feel like you got to bet over 300 to have an NBA.
His card's very
MVP
good on
season
MLB
now.
The Show, too.
Oh.
Sorry. Ignore me, Nick.
He's got 11 home runs and 23 RBIs, which I feel like if you're hitting for power and you're getting RBIs and you're still hitting for average, that's something that the old game didn't really work. It was hey, I hit 50 home runs. I'm Adam Dunn. I hit 50 home runs. I also struck out 100 times.
Yeah.
So that was bad. And then Byron Buxton is my AL MVP, who I could see.
He's out for a while now.
Yeah, he's out for now, but
I think that could be a factor down the road.
If he can come back and do he's batting 370 right now, which is just insane.
His monthly rewards card also very good in MLB The Show. Sorry.
17 RBIs. He's got 5 stolen bases, and he hasn't been caught stealing a single time.
Well, of course he hasn't. He's stupid fast.
Yeah,
just I got him.
Fielding,
me too.
Fielding wise, I feel like if you can be a lot of MVPs we've talked about in the past
the
past couple of years. I mean, Jose Abreu is first baseman, so it's how much does his defense actually come in to make changes in the game? But just guys like Mike Trout, I'm looking at Buxton as a guy who can compete with him because if Mike Trout's 1-2 in MVP voting, it's okay, but he plays, it's almost like a shortstop center fielder.
He's very good.
So if you're going center fielder versus first baseman, who's saving more outs, it's got to be a center fielder. With it being
to
Buxton,
be fair to the first baseman thing, that was the first time in a long time we've seen first baseman.
No, I think
Freeman and Abreu were very deserving of it.
Sure.
But I get what you're getting at, right? There's a defensive value in metric that has to be factored in.
Yeah. Which you're looking at guys I don't think Jose Abreu. No, Evan White won the Gold Glove for first base in the American.
Abreu's an average fielder.
But if you can win a Gold Glove as a first baseman as an MVP, then you have a good chance. But if you're just an average fielder, you have a guy who's playing a more defensive essential position.
You have to run away and
which I think that's what Abreu did.
Abreu was clearly on he ran away with it with his offensive numbers. It was very well deserving of him. But Byron Buxton's a good choice.
Yeah, no, I think it's. Really good choice.
When we first picked it, I picked Mike Trout, and I'm like, you know what?
Don't do that.
He still has a chance to win because he's still Mike Trout. He's still the greatest player in the game right now.
Yeah,
if he's healthy,
he'll always have a chance. That's too easy of a choice.
Yeah, but now looking at Byron Buxton, I could be all right, competition, same exact position, so it can't even be it's and they're both. I mean, Byron Buxton steals more bases, so he might even have a leg up.
And the last couple of years, his power numbers have been going up.
Yeah, which is
so he's finding some more pop in his bat, which.
True.
We're moving into an era where now you're going to see speed and power in the same guy. We've been moving there for a while. But
Yeah.
it's going to keep
But
going.
it used to be an anomaly. Like,
Yeah.
Alfonso Soriano seasons
Yep.
where it's like 40 stolen bases, 40 home runs was like what he was going for.
Yeah.
Now
It's
you
just-
can see that more of a possibility.
It's crazy
Yeah.
the way these athletes are developing.
Yeah.
I went with sticking in the AL. I went with Shohei Ohtani. He's not having. There are guys having better years at the plate right now, but he's tied for the lead in home runs, unless that's changed since yesterday or a couple days ago.
Yeah. Still a long season. He's close. He's
right
yeah,
there.
he's
One,
in the running,
he's got
yeah.
10 home runs. So he's having a good year with home runs and everything. He could probably increase his batting average, batting 265.
I mean,
But-
that's not bad, though.
No, it's not bad.
Yeah.
But I look at his value as a pitcher too. If Ohtani can scrape out like 10 wins or more as a starting pitcher and hit around 280 for the year and keep his pace with home runs and RBIs.
Yeah, but you also got to consider it this way. Like, I believe a couple days ago, he literally pitched 7 innings, only gave up
And then he
one
went
run.
out to right field.
Yeah, it's like, so they're literally keeping him in the lineup because his bat's so good.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's like,
and his ERA, it's like it's 2.17 or something.
yeah, like, can you
So-
name another pitcher?
On
Like,
what?
name another pitcher like that.
No, you.
Oh no, you don't.
see
I
that.
thought
You can't.
I was like
It's
on
like
the
name another
Angels. I
pitcher.
can name one.
No, I'm saying like name another pitcher who's like can.
No,
do
it
that.
doesn't
No,
happen.
It doesn't.
No.
He's
so
like a freak.
that's why it's just it's unbelievable what we're seeing him do.
Well, it's same thing we were just talking about with Buxton playing defense more. It's like, okay, now, Shohei Ohtani's batting is slightly less, but he also pitches, and he also could possibly be a Cy Young. I mean, I don't think he's going to be a Cy Young
No,
candidate.
I don't
but
think so.
If you're
They
looking at
don't
where
use
it's
him
like,
enough.
it's like if he pitched an entire season like Corey Kluber or Garrett Cole, it's like,
Mhm.
okay, he might have a chance at a Cy Young season. So he might have a chance at both. It's hard to pick him
Yeah,
not as an
that's-
MVP.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't think he's like the best at both, but I mean, like he's very good. Like
He's playing at a high enough
Yeah.
clip on both
Oh,
sides.
he's
to
playing
where it
very well.
counts.
If the Angels make the playoffs, it's going to be behind Shohei Ohtani more than anyone.
Yeah.
Nothing against Mike Trout. He's going to do what he always does, but it's the difference makers are the supporting cast for that
yeah,
team.
no,
Yeah.
it is.
And Shohei Ohtani, I think he's going to have to be the biggest difference maker,
Yeah.
especially he has to keep his pitching up like this.
Yeah, no, he does. Yeah.
His bat, his offense has always been there. It was always, will his pitching translate to the MLB? And it's this year it seems to be translating just
Well,
fine.
it finally makes sense to where he's a two-way player. Because like
Yeah.
before, it was like he was a good hitter, a decent fielder, and he kind of sucked at pitching. So it's like,
He had
well, why
nasty
don't you,
stuff,
why don't
but
you,
was still
why don't you give up pitching and you'll be better at the other two? Now it's like there's no point for him to give up pitching,
right.
but he really can't give up hitting because he's absolutely crushing the ball.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
having 10 home runs like that.
He's having
pretty
he's
good.
having a year. Have a year, why don't you?
He is tied for second for home runs. I
Who-
think
who-
I think Acuna hit one last night after you.
How's he
added
doing
stuff.
in the American League?
He's tied for first because it's
so
JD.
I was half
Yeah.
right.
It's JD Martinez, Mitch Haniger, Jose Ramirez, and
Oh,
Shohei
Mitch
Ohtani.
Haniger.
Yeah,
Nice.
surprising,
Wow.
but
Very
Nice.
nice.
Okay, so he's second. Shoot.
he's second. But first in the AL, which I mean, if
You're right.
that's
I'm
that's where
taking
he's
it.
running
I was
the-
half right.
yeah,
I was half right.
Yeah,
that's where he's running the MVP
Right and wrong
anyway.
at the same
yeah,
time.
true. So who's your NL?
Well, for me, I'm going with Fernando Tatis. Out with COVID right now.
Yeah,
We'll see how long he's out with that.
a lot of the Padres are out. Will Myers just went out. Yeah, they're struggling.
They must have hit the club or something.
Yeah, I
after
think
that
it
Joe
did.
Musgrove no hitter a couple weeks ago.
Or it's just they're in the locker room and
No, I
things spread very fast.
I know.
Yeah.
No, I'm going with Tatis. He's having a slow start to the year, but he's just got way too much talent. He'll bounce back, and I'm sure we'll see him towards the end of the year being in
Yeah.
the running top. I'm going to
I
say
mean, plus, when you look at that team, they're all good. So it's like you can't really pitch around a guy. So eventually, he's gonna
Yeah.
have to get pitches in.
yeah, it's a
down
good
the
it's a
middle.
good team, and they're going to have to pitch to him more. Hopefully, he comes back from COVID and he's
Yeah,
just
my whole
fine.
thing is like I thought they would all be vaccinated.
well, we don't,
I don't. I'm just saying,
we
like
don't
I
have to
thought
get
this
into
wasn't
the
going to be a thing
vaccinations
anymore.
of it all.
No, I just thought it wasn't going to be a thing anymore. You know what I mean?
I didn't think it was gonna be a
it's-
thing
yeah.
that much either. But also, I understand it. To the
Yeah,
point
no,
where it's like,
I do get it.
they're probably
They are
being extra
vaccinated.
cautious.
Whatever.
But-
Yeah, he's my pick. I don't have too much to say about it because his numbers aren't that great.
Yeah.
I just think he's too talented for it to stay that way. And he's
And
going to
it's not a
bounce back
60-game
and have a
season,
great year.
so
Hey, so I'm just gonna go with AL JD Martinez. He's been having a year, dude. Like
Yeah, he's
first in home runs, batting 338.
second.
Yeah. Behind.
Second.
Oh, second. My
First,
bad.
tied for first in the American League. You're right and wrong at the same time.
Yeah, well,
just wanted to hold you to it because you guys both gave me a look when I said Shohei was first.
I was just making
I was
sure.
just uncertain. I thought he was first, to be honest. But that's why.
Fair enough.
But no, dude, he's been having a real good year. Hopefully he can keep it up. If he keeps it up like this, I think he definitely is thrown in
He needs to improve his defense, though.
I mean, dude, yeah, he's just,
Talk about someone who's going to have to run away with his offensive numbers like Abreu did last year.
Yeah, but
JD Martinez is a sorry defensive player. I'm pretty sure he's only DHing right now, anyways.
For the most part, yeah.
But
He'll only
like,
DH.
dude, if you keep that bat up to like,
That's what I'm saying. If he can run away with
yeah.
it, like Jose Abreu last year, his offense separated him pretty clearly from the rest of the competition.
Yeah.
You had to give it to him. If JD Martinez can finish in a similar place where it's just like this dude out, like just killed it. He was lights out with the bat when he was at the plate.
Yep.
Then because offense still runs the league in a year when the long ball's actually gone down.
Yeah,
because they modified the ball.
Yeah, which is always the thing that everyone will always say. Because when there was a bunch of home runs, the pitchers were like,
Andrew,
"Oh, the ball's heavier. I can't throw it as
Andrew was
fast."
spitting some conspiracy theories.
Just saying, spin rates changed from this year to last year, or last year to this year.
For Kyle Hendricks' sake, I really hope so, because he's getting rocked.
Well, no, it would be Bennett. This year, home runs are down.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, forget everything about me.
He's just having a bad year.
Yeah.
No, the alleged modification or like changes to the ball are more in favor of defense and like limit home runs this year.
Okay.
Allegedly, I can't say anything certain. Manfred won't come out and admit it, but they alter the ball because I honestly think I don't even have an issue with it if they do. Right? If you alter the ball a little bit so you can have more home runs, then you go, oh crap, we altered it too much, too many home runs. Let's fix it again.
Well, that's what people were talking about. I want to say it was 3 years ago or something when the Twins hit so many home runs and like crushed it. And all the pitchers came out after the season were like, the ball was definitely heavier, like noticeably heavier.
They were changed.
So I'm like, that's weird that the pitchers don't know. I mean, it's like Deflategate, but for the entire league rather than just one team.
But
what I do like about
help them if the ball
what I do like about baseball, you throw it slower. That's the whole thing.
I guess
so it's a little bit less spin. You can't get as much grip. I do like that the MLB uses the same ball for both teams. It's not like you get your own. It's not like the Twins go out there and you
NFL
toss
where
out.
you have your own ball boy and you pump your balls.
Wow, you said it. Words that you had to say, and you're like, you pump your own ball.
I'm sorry.
It just doesn't make any sense to have, 2 teams. It's like, oh, here's my box of baseballs. Here's your box of baseballs.
I know. I agree with you there. Yeah, NFL should definitely.
Just universal ball pumper.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just neutral. Put it at the bring it to the neutral
stadium
site.
Supplied.
Yeah, a neutral site. Have the refs go in there and just watch it all. Because I'm pretty sure the umps are the ones who like prepare the ball.
Well, it's not even the umps doing it.
I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me.
I watched a documentary like a long time ago. It was just like a baseball documentary. There's all the baseballs are all bought from Rawlings or whoever they're bought from.
Rawlings.
They're all sent to this same place, and I think it's in Kentucky or somewhere around there. They're all dirtied up because like you can't have a perfectly
Dude,
clean
I'm glad
ball.
you're saying this. I'm gonna finish and I'm gonna bring something up.
They all go through the exact same process, every single ball, and then every single ball then is shipped to each team. They get a certain amount to start the year, and then throughout the year they keep getting them sent.
Yeah, we're getting into all these like weird technicalities of the sport right now. But your point, I'm pretty sure it is Kentucky because I remember, Bobby. I don't know if you remember our ACT. When we were juniors in high school, the ACT, one of the reading sections was about how they prepare the MLB baseball.
Dude, how do you even remember that?
I don't know, but
I don't even remember what I read on there.
Fair enough. You're probably stoned.
No, I wasn't.
No, but
it was.
You weren't Mac Jones and hit that day.
No, I wasn't. It was the day after.
Oh my god!
Stress release. Not
literally, like there is this specific pond in like Kentucky or something like that where the mud, like the way it affects the leather on the ball, they do dirty it up. So it goes to this place where that pond originally was, and all the balls just get processed through this mud and then like cleaned off, but the mud soaks in.
Dude, this was like almost 10 years.
I thought it was interesting. I was like, yo, I'm actually.
I know, like one time it's like, I thought about some stupid random thing. It's like,
here, like,
baseball, yeah.
I'm like, oh, great, I'm going to have to read something dumb, some fictional story for my reading portion. But no, I was actually interested by it. All right.
But like that, why don't all sports do that? NBA does the same
exactly.
way.
Why don't they all
You
mud
know?
up their balls? Okay, that's the last one.
Oh my gosh.
Just dirty your balls a little bit.
All right,
Okay, so Bobby, who's your NL
my
MVP?
NL pick? Hey, gotta give it to the Cubbies. Chris Bryant, dude, he's
Oh
on
my
pace
God.
he's on pace
He's
to
having a
having
good
better year than he did his 2016 MVP.
Because he can hit the high fastball. He adjusted finally.
Yep, dude. I
Because
mean,
the balls are different.
hey,
They're not as dirty.
I will take back. The Cubs are actually hitting the ball. I mean, especially Chris
So
Bryant.
are you going
I
to say you
feel-
panicked a little bit?
I
did
feel
panic
like-
a little bit,
Okay.
but
David
they're still
Ross
worried.
listened to our podcast and he was like, "Hey, there's this kid who he's a diehard Cubs fan,
he ripped
but he ripped us."
I did rip into.
How's
it pretty hard.
Jock Peterson doing?
Dude, he actually can hit the ball. Like,
Jock Peterson is the one he
Jock
called
I
up.
like how Bobby comes in and says the Cubs are done. There's no chance they have anything.
And like they
then,
go on a run after
2 days later, it's like,
whoa,
wait,
whoa.
maybe
All
it's
right,
too early.
Hold up. No. All right, their bats may have been found, but their starting pitching is awful. Jake Arrieta has the best ERA. Just letting you guys know that.
You sound like you're surprised for someone who is such a high believer.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I
Jake-
think we're just gonna roll right into what you're thinking about the Cubs because we'll just go into our own teams after
All right,
this.
Jake
But it's
Arrieta
just
has the best ERA, which I did call that. I'm just saying. But like, dude, Kyle Hendricks, he ain't your ace. All right. Why would you get rid of you, Darvish? All right, and then make Kyle Hendricks your ace. All right. This man's getting rocked every game. He stinks in fantasy. I have him in fantasy. He's making me lose games. I'm 2-2 in fantasy. How?
That's it? Only 4 games into this season?
Yeah, dude, it's a long season. I'm not gonna lie.
What is it, a week-long matchup each
Yeah,
time?
it's week-long
And then the
matchups.
first one was like a
Oh.
week and a half.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah,
I
dude.
hate that.
And then I'm getting beat on Sunday. Like Sunday's the last day of it,
and that's when Kyle Hendrick pitches.
yes, that's when Kyle Hendricks just gets
He
rocked.
just gets rocked. He
But
gets
feel
bro,
like-
you know what he'll do? You know what he does for me? He has that. He'll have like 2 terrible games, and I'm about to drop him, right? And I'm like, I'll give him one more. He has a great game, and then I'm like, okay, all right, he's back.
He's back.
And
He's
then
back.
he has 2 more terrible games. Dude, I hate that man right now.
It's like a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
Just drop it, man.
And Jake Arrieta is still on that IL. Just letting you guys know. Hey, I don't know if he's gonna get the Cy Young this year.
I don't think he ever
But
was.
if he comes back, who knows?
If he gets that saying, I gotta buy Bobby a Arrieta jersey. I made that promise.
Oh, yeah.
Jim
What was
was
that bet?
Yeah.
It wasn't a bet. It was if Jake Arrieta wins the
Oh,
Cy
yeah,
Young,
if he
I'll
wins
get him.
it, yeah.
And then if Haniger wins, Bobby's buying me a Kyle Lewis jersey.
I will give Nick credit. It's looking like Haniger is
The Haniger, I don't understand.
is the more
Likely of the two scenarios.
which is fine. I mean, I knew that was gonna. Neither of them were gonna happen, but I knew I had a slight leg up.
Living on a
But
hope, whatever.
smaller market teams, their jerseys are a little bit cheaper. So I feel like fair.
Fair. Yeah, that's fair. Well, yeah, I guess picking up where you left off, White Sox pitching, the starting pitching has actually been on fire. They're prior to Giolito's start a couple of days ago, they went 4 straight games not allowing a single run from their starting pitcher.
Wow.
So what you're telling me is they should form a mega team with the Cubs and Sox.
They already have a mega team. Their last 4 games, they've put up 9 runs each game. So if both pitching and the bats are going to start performing at the same time, that's a scary team to watch. I still think Tony La Russa sucks and shouldn't have been the manager hire, but whatever.
But I mean, like, if you're given that good of a team and you manage to squander it,
Yeah, I'm
I
still not-
just liked his. I didn't know you could
Oh,
pinch
that
run
pissed
for a
me
guy at
off.
second.
That was the inspiration
I'm
for
like-
why I said he was out of touch.
I'm
with
like, why
baseball
couldn't
last
you?
week.
Why would you
Wait.
not be able to pinch? So extra innings for all right. Guy
Yeah.
starts at second base.
It was
LaRussa
Liam
didn't know-
Hendricks because they were playing in an NL ballpark.
Yeah.
You
And
could literally do that.
He didn't know you
And
could pinch
That
run
will
him.
be the show.
So Liam Hendricks was
Oh,
the runner,
okay.
the runner at second base. So he had his pitcher running at second
Our-
base.
not even just our closer, the dude who probably steps on the bases like once,
I
and
just
that's just when he's running into the
LaRussa is so
mound.
lucky. If he would have slid into like home and like fractured his thumb or something and like
Oh
got
my
hurt, I'm like, could you
gosh.
imagine
Would have
that?
broke my heart.
Yeah, dude. How he's getting paid millions, and how do you not know that?
Yeah, and
Like-
I'm gonna say it too with the White Sox. Carlos Rodon, right now, if you look at where he's at in the league leaders, he is first in like every pitching category, second in I think innings pitched and Second, I can't remember what the other one, but his ERA is 0.6
Wow, dude. Good
At
for
the
him.
rate he's going, he is an easy Cy Young choice. I think if he continues this all year, he's got to be one of the names in the running,
No,
possibly even winning it.
Hey,
Were you looking those numbers?
I was just looking because I knew DeGrom's ERA was really low, and I didn't want to have the Otani. He's in
So
first place.
Did you find the ERA leaders?
Yeah, but I don't like ESPN or MLB because they
What
cut
about
out
Baseball Reference?
they cut out some guys because they don't have enough innings pitched in a tone to everyone else. It doesn't count. So like right now, DeGrom is the ERA leader at 0.68. But like I don't even see Rodon on here, and I know Rodon's ERA is pretty low.
His ERA is super low.
Okay, I'm gonna talk about my Mariners because
It's 0.58.
Yeah, so I'm on ESPN right now, and
ESPN, get it together, man.
Yeah.
but I think it's
Baseball Reference always.
I like the baseball reference because then you can put in there eligible players or just make everyone eligible, and then it doesn't
Mhm.
matter if they pitched 0.2 of an inning or
Yeah.
whatever.
I mean, yeah, but you can't really.
No,
Yeah,
but
you
I'm
pitch-
telling you,
Rodon's pitching
Rodon
up
is
innings.
running away.
Yeah, because if you do 0.2 of an inning, then
So
Anthony Rizzo would technically.
I'll read off Rodon's stats real quick. 5-0, ERA of 0.51, 31 innings pitched, 44 strikeouts, 0.677 WHIP. He's won all 5 of his starts. He's only started in 5 games, and he has a no-hitter on the year already. A toe hitter, almost a perfect game.
Toe hitter.
So I'm just keep an eye on
Yeah,
the
but
man.
like our no hitters even impressive. I mean, like people are throwing him left and right.
Wait.
This year it feels like it. Oh my
yeah, for real.
gosh.
But I have a question. Do you think hitting for the cycle is harder or no hitter?
See, for me, it's still got to be no hitter because you got to get 20. You have to get 27 guys out
I don't know.
in
Dude.
a league.
4 for 4 is
Dude,
hard.
In a
yeah,
league,
4 for 4.
Or 4
home
hits in a
run,
game is hard.
4 hits in a game is very
triple,
hard
double,
too.
and a single. Like,
But I'm saying to get 27 outs against, I mean, like it all depends too. Like everyone always gave crap to Giolito because he threw no hitter against the Pirates. It's like, oh, the Pirates suck. But I'm like, you can literally get one off the edge of the bat and it just barely floats over the first
Mhm.
baseman's head. Like I feel like it's not easy to get a hit in the game, but when you're an MLB player, for 27 batters to not be able to get a hit, that's so much.
I'm
I
going
don't
to go
know.
with the cycle.
I think the cycle.
It's hard to go 4 for 4, and it's hard to do each thing with your 4
it's
at
hard to get a triple, man.
Yeah,
but-
and also like, dude, there's sometimes where like if the rest of your team it stinks, like you can't even bat 4 times.
Yeah. That's
All I'll
true.
say is we've seen 4 no hitters, but no cycles.
Yeah, we haven't seen any cycles.
I don't even think we saw someone hit for the cycle last year.
I was thinking that in the shower the other day.
There have only been
That's my shower thought.
14 natural cycles in MLB history.
Okay, so I'm gonna say it's harder.
Yeah, I'm going.
I
going
get
with
your
that.
I get your point. I'm gonna say
Okay,
a perfect game is harder than the cycle.
Natural cycle is really stupid. Natural cycle is you get a single first, then a double, then a triple, then a home run.
Oh,
That's a natural cycle.
that makes.
Oh,
That's-
that's dumb.
That's
Okay.
one of the hardest things to do. If you're
Yeah,
doing
that's
board.
yeah,
just-
that's like they're playing poker. Like,
Yeah, okay. Is
What?
that ESPN too? I bet it's ESPN.
MLB.com.
man,
Let me
you're
down
coming
on that
all
one,
over
Emma.
it. Yeah,
I don't-
ESPN,
listen.
yeah.
It's nothing against ESPN, but how are you gonna not put Rodon out there?
Because he only
0.58.
pitched 31 innings. I think it's probably 33 is
Yeah.
the required.
Is it really?
Looking at the pitching stats, the
That
lowest
hurt.
pitching innings I see is 33.
So it
and that's
might be.
Pineda.
It might be.
Yeah.
It's just
He'll
a
get
weird,
there though.
It's just a weird thing. By the end of the season, if he's still that good, he'll be included in anything because it's got to just hit the minimum.
He'll hit the minimum.
Yeah.
He had one short start when I think his first start was only like 4 innings. It was his first one since Tommy John, so they
All
probably
right. We'll definitely put out a tweet of how many cycles have been hit in Major League, how many no hitters have been thrown, and then we'll ask if you guys think cycle or no hitter.
interact with us on social media, guys.
But
That'd be
It gives
cool.
us something to do the other 6 days of the week when we're not podcasting.
But I'm definitely going with the cycle. I think it.
I'm gonna have to agree
I
with
think
you.
it's
I
hard
feel like it's got to be no hitters because pitching is. I mean,
It's difficult. They're both incredibly difficult.
still baseball
My-
is one of the hardest sports.
Yeah, one
In
of the hardest
anything.
things to do is
Yeah.
hit a round ball with a round bat.
That is very true.
It's tough. I got to stick with it with the cycle. We haven't seen one yet
Do
this
you
year.
want to know what else is tough? Being a Seattle Mariners fan, but I have yet to get hope up for my season because you guys have always talked about the Mariners doing well, and it has been very tough for me to get my hope up. And I'm glad I didn't because
Yeah, you've stayed pretty level.
I am-
even when they were on the win
Bobby, I told you they're still going to finish in probably 4th place in the division. They're going to finish behind the A's, the Athletics, and the Angels, and then the Mariners, and they'll beat Texas. That's what I'm hoping for.
Oh, I forgot about the Rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like
forgot
the Detroit Tigers of the AL West. It's just like,
Hey, but they got
they're
Nick
there.
Solak.
They do have Nick Solak, Joey Gallo.
Yeah,
They got
Nick
some-
Solak's a local boy, right?
Yeah, he's from Illinois. I think he went to Illinois State.
No, Paul DeYoung went to Illinois State.
Oh, yep.
Oh, yeah, Paul
Yep,
DeYoung.
That's I was getting him confused.
But starting
Rep the
pitcher,
city,
James
or the
Paxton out for
state.
the season. Marco Gonzalez is out an undecided amount of times, something with his arm. And it's just getting to the point where it's like, if like two guys get hurt on position players, I don't know who the players are.
But
I've been a Mariners fan for like 15 years,
I
and I'm
just
running
saw
out of guys to know.
They just are bringing up two top prospects.
Yep, they're bringing up Jared Klenick, which I think is a number 2 prospect in all of baseball, and they're bringing up Julio Rodriguez, who's a pitcher, and he's 4. So bringing in 2 top 5 prospects, and we'll get into that debate at a different time, but it's bogus that they did not get called up on opening day, because then it starts their MLB
Oh yeah,
Time later.
What is it? The service time.
service time later. So that means that like
It happens.
Jared Klenick should be on the same schedule as Randy Arozarena, but Arozarena's contract will be up for how much he gets paid earlier than Jared Klenick. So then he'll get paid, and then the Mariners will come to him and
They
be
just
like,
gotta-
hey, we still own your MLB rights, so we're going to give you less money, or we can test in free agency and
You
and we won't play
gotta do the Rick Hahn method. Sign them 6-7 years, pay them really well, and just don't even worry about service time.
Yep.
But we'll get into that another time.
Yep,
When
so
does
just-
does he make his debut?
They're calling him up. They're calling him soon. It should be soon. I want to
Hopefully we
say
can talk about it next week.
Yeah,
I
'cause
want to
I'll-
say it should be before next week.
I think the one guy is tomorrow.
I think
The
I think that
outfielder.
the clinic should be playing tomorrow.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah,
he
should
should be
coming up
playing.
soon.
Which Drake Fraley was their starting outfielder. It should be Kyle Lewis, Mitch Haniger, and Fraley. He got hurt. Their backup's not solid, so it's like it
Well,
kind
it's
of
a
made
great
sense
opportunity
to
for
put him out
this
there. Yeah,
for this kid to make his debut.
but it should be fun to watch. And Mariners just inconsistency with a young team. They'll go out there and they'll score 10 runs, and then they'll play the Red Sox. I was telling Bobby about this earlier. Scored 7 runs, only got 3 hits. That's not going to happen a lot. If you're only getting 3 hits in a game, you're not.
And they scored 7.
They tied. It was 3-3 tie in the 9th inning. They had only 1 hit. The Mariners had 1 hit. Then in the 10th inning, Kyle Seager got a double. The Red Sox walked the next guy. Mitch Haniger hit a 3-run home run. So that was their second and third hit of the ball game, and they got to their 7 runs.
Wow.
So
Wow.
random happens with walks, errors, fielders'
Mhm.
choices to get hits. If you're getting 3 hits in a ball game, you're not scoring 7 runs. Sorry, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, fair enough.
That is very true.
Well,
Yeah, hopefully, it seems like they got a lot of top prospects. So
It's looking up.
Yeah.
I'm
they're
still
a young team.
I'm still looking 2025-ish is when I'm going to start to be like, that's when the Astros are going to start to go down. And then also the Angels might have some changes and stuff like that. I feel like that's when they could possibly come.
yeah, no, I definitely could see that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of rule changes that we can talk about. I feel like the big ones we need to talk about now, because we've talked about other ones in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I want to ask both of you guys, because I don't know if you guys know this, MLB draft picks cannot be traded.
Oh yeah.
There is it doesn't matter. If you finish worst, you get the first pick. If you win the World Series, you get the last pick. You cannot trade first round for third rounds. You can't do anything. The only thing that can happen is if you don't make your pick, you get just moved down, and then the next team picks your pick.
Do teams do that?
No one
Okay,
does. No one does that. But
What?
it's just the same thing of like if you forgot to make your pick and like didn't get it in
So if you
time.
just let the time run out.
Yeah, if you let the time run out,
Okay.
you just get bumped down
I was gonna
to
say, what is that? A
next.
strategy?
yeah.
No. So
Um,
what do you like? Would it make it? I know baseball always gets the thing of it's not interesting enough for people. Would that make it more interesting, or do you like it because it's like?
Yeah, that would make it more interesting because I mean, like, look at the NFL. Like,
But
yeah,
also,
NFL draft day is wild.
yeah, like you don't know if someone's gonna make a pick. Like, who watches the baseball draft?
not a lot of people.
Yeah, I don't think you do.
I watched the last couple when the Sox were picking in the top 5.
But-
Okay.
Think about this too.
But
I mean,
do you watch like all of them?
No,
Yeah,
no, I
okay,
watched
all
until the
right.
White Sox pick.
Okay, there you
they
go.
picked
See,
like
exactly.
3rd and 4th. The last
I'll
2 I watched.
I'll throw
so-
one thing that might change your mind, Bobby. Is if you're sitting at 18, that means you have to let it go through all the rest of the teams, and then you're still the 18th pick in the next round. So if you don't pick the guy that you want, and you think he might not be there for your next pick, you have to debate picking your next pick before this pick, depending on
I didn't
everything.
follow that at all.
Yeah,
I'm
I
sorry.
was confusing. So
No,
So say-
I
say-
get what you're saying.
say the pick that you don't know if it's going to be there is the 18th pick of like round 4.
Mhm.
Do you pick him with your 3rd round pick, even though he's like, there's 80
You might
players better than
reach.
him? Yeah. So it's
Okay,
like
I get what
technically
you're
a
saying.
reach. Like you don't know exactly who you want.
No,
But
dude, no,
you-
that's terrible. It's
Yeah.
not exciting at all.
You never reach.
So
you-
trades. So
Yeah, they
trades
need
should
to
be
add
there.
trades in there. Like, because look at the Bears wouldn't have Khalil Mack. Like, we wouldn't have a lot of people. Like, a lot of teams wouldn't have a lot of like any of their superstars without trades.
Yeah, but I'm kind of in the camp of keeping them non-tradable. Actually,
So you're in the ballpark of keeping baseball boring.
well, it's not
I
necessarily
just look
that.
at it as like
So
how many,
here's
how
what
many
you get
prospects you have. Like
when you don't trade draft picks. It makes it where every team can build their team equally, right?
Yeah,
And you
get
can't
that.
just go and be a team that's like, I'm just going to give up my next 3 first-round picks so I can have Mike Trout on my team. And then, you know what? I'm going to go, like, imagine how it would be if you could trade your picks for these superstars. There's a lot of stars in the MLB. This kind of spreads the talent, I think, a
Yeah.
lot better.
Yeah, I mean,
And you see teams like the Dodgers, they get all these really good players now, but they had to wait for years, and everything has to be like homegrown talent for the most part, unless you're trading for prospects.
yeah, I mean,
And with the way the MLB is now, most guys don't even make their debut for like 3 years after being drafted,
unless you're a stud.
unless you're
Yeah.
a stud. But so, like, how exciting is it really going to make it?
yeah, I get.
They're less impact right out of the draft as other sports.
Well, I mean, that's what you get. Like, you don't really get to trade like Mike Trout for draft picks, but like pretty much Chris Sale was traded for draft picks. Like he
Yeah.
was traded for
or
guys.
international signings for Yohan.
Yeah.
There's too much that goes into bringing new talent into the league. It's draft picks aren't the only way. International signings happen.
I just like it because there's no way to, if your farm system sucks, it's not like you can be like, all right, I'm going to trade, I'm going to trade Nelson Cruz. He's super old. Or Robinson Cano, he's super old for the 1st round pick. Like I still have to pick at 28 or 29 if my team's really good.
Mhm.
Like I don't get that just buffer of, I have a really good old player here.
Yeah, but
trade him.
That's why you see teams are more willing to trade prospects, though.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, everything kind of counteracts, right? It
Yeah.
cancels out.
Well, plus look at how many lower, like not MLB players there are. Like in the NFL, what do you have? Like your practice squad, and that's it. That's
Yeah.
technically not starters.
There's
Yeah,
like
but-
The
4
MLB
levels
has-
of minor league, 5 levels
Yeah.
of minor league baseball.
But still, you should be able to trade your picks. Like, come
Okay,
on.
so
You-
Bobby's trades, Andrew's no trades. I'm no trades. I like that you can't trade it.
It makes it adds a
You have
little
to
bit
do your
more of
own
a
scouting.
difficult ability to building a good team. To not be able to trade your picks, you have to have a better front office. You need to have a better scouting team.
Yeah, but
And you can still. So let's look at it like we'll go to the Chris Sale trade, for example, right? Yohan Moncada, Michael Kopech. Chris Sale, what? You trade a 1st round. You probably can trade him and get 2 first-round picks for him,
yeah,
right? That's essentially, like Nick said, how it worked out. But you're instead of going and getting these 1st-round picks that you're going to have to develop for 3 years, you went and got Yohan Moncada and Michael Kopech. Moncada made his debut within that season. Kopech the next season. It works the same, really. It does, because you can trade for a 1st-round pick, sure, and that's cool, and then you have to develop the guy for 3 years, or you trade for a prospect that's MLB ready, and you just want him because you're ready to dump and rebuild around that guy.
yeah. I
It
mean,
works the
okay,
same way.
I do get that, but dude, it's 21st century. Come on,
The excitement's still there though with the
you should
prospects.
be able to trade draft picks.
Okay.
I like how it is.
All right. I'm going to ask the next question. I don't want to go into super long detail on this. Just like maybe yes, no, and then maybe a quick reason for your answer. Should, now that when you play a doubleheader, it's 7-inning games, should a no-hitter in a 7-inning game or perfect game count in the MLB stat record book?
It should get an asterisk next to it. It should go in the book, but put an asterisk is fair.
Okay.
Dude, like, come on. You pitch the whole game. It's not his fault that he
No,
couldn't
I know,
go the
that's-
extra 2 innings.
But that's
Like,
why I'm going to say
yeah,
the
I
asterisk.
know. I give you the asterisk, but yeah, like the Madison Bumgarner.
Yeah, that's
That-
why I
that
put that in
should've
there
counted.
because of that.
Yeah,
that
he
should've
should. It should be. It
Like-
should be official, but
Yeah.
it should be an asterisk is fair to put next to it because
Yeah.
part of the challenge is 27 outs, not what's the math
21.
there? Not 21.
But yeah,
To me, I feel like it should be in there. I understand that like if it's 7 innings and then there's a rain out and the game gets canceled and it's already played enough, I feel like, yes, no hitter because the game was supposed to be 9. If you're setting out that the game's supposed to be 7, I feel like then that is a no hitter if you pitch the entire game.
Yeah, put it in you played to the rules that were in place, right?
Yeah, so
it's not like the pitcher went out there and said, "All right, I've gone 7 no hits. Let's just cancel it
Let's
there.
just cancel the game.
Yeah.
We're done."
We're done."
So what? If he played the first game, he has to go in the next 2, and then
Exactly.
like, come on,
exactly.
you gotta
Just-
give him the opportunity. Like you know,
That's why I believe putting an asterisk or something, some kind of indication next to it, because you can't group it in with a 9-inning no hitter.
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing, Tom. If that's going to be the standard going forward, I feel like it has to be.
It has
Yeah.
to.
And you just have to put in a no hitter and then put a little line, and then when you go to the bottom of that page, be like, "Oh, line means
Exactly
7-inning no hitter," or
something, but it
in the stat
belongs
book,
in there.
have a 9-inning no hitter column and a 7-inning no hitter column. They both count for the same thing.
yeah,
Right.
no,
It's a complete
Manners
game.
and Baumgartner
Yeah,
should
he
get that.
could only, it was a 7-inning game. Give it to
He
him.
physically couldn't pitch this other
Yeah.
two.
Exactly. So we're all in agreement on
Yeah.
that one.
Yeah.
Goes in some kind of indication that it's not a 9-inning one because they can't be grouped in the same.
Yeah, I'll give.
Fair enough.
All right.
Fair enough.
I feel like that's enough MLB talk for a while. I mean,
oh yeah,
long
I could
season.
tell we could really keep going
Yeah.
too.
We
So
can
we'll
have,
just
you
sit,
know-
we'll break it all up each week, guys.
I was gonna say, and then we got probably like 4 more months that we can constantly talk about baseball
yeah.
stuff because it'll
I can
keep
talk
going on.
baseball forever.
But something that's not going to be going on for forever is the NBA season. It's coming to a close, and also new rule changes, playing games for the
Yeah.
playoffs. So
what is it? 9, 8, and 7? No, 10.
7. It used to be 8 teams make it. Now 7 will play 10, and 8 will play 9 in a 1-game playoff to get into the actual
Right, okay,
playoffs.
so
Oh, so
7
like a wild card.
7
Yeah.
through 10 will make
that's-
go
that's
into the
okay.
play-in.
so 7 through 10 is a play-in game.
I like it.
Yeah, I like that.
I like it too. It gives more, shake up. And if you're a 7 or 8 team, it's like you can't just barely sneak in. It's like, okay, you sneak in, but you still got to play one more game.
Yeah.
So I feel like coming up to that playoffs, who do you think is gonna be in the finals? I don't say who's gonna win, but who do you think from each conference?
I am going to ride the Phoenix Suns. I think the Phoenix Suns are going to find their
Phoenix
find their
Suns
way.
and Gordon Ramsay or Chris Paul as the NBA
Oh,
fans.
yeah,
know.
you're weird.
Yeah,
I'm going to go Phoenix Suns, and if the Nets can get it together, Harden and KD work together.
Yeah.
The rest of the teams kind of got to balance out better. And they're really not the same team without Harden on the court. But I'm going to go, honestly, I think the Suns, Devin Booker is an elite scorer,
Yeah.
and he's complemented very well by Gordon Ramsay out there.
And they're in first place, right?
No, the Jazz are in first.
Jazz,
Suns
Jazz.
are
And you know
second.
what? I fear the
It's like-
beard, man.
Fear the beard. Yeah.
I've always been a big Harden. I've always liked James
Yeah.
Harden. I've defended him against Cole,
Brantley,
Brantley.
everyone.
You don't know these people, but everyone likes to
We
rip.
don't
James
even
Harden.
know what's in that beard either.
I don't know.
So like, it's a
But
mystery.
he's all I know is he got traded to the Nets, looked fat and out of shape, and he's like their best player right now.
Yeah.
He's
You put
very
all that
good.
fat
Him,
just stored up in the
and
beard.
KD reunited after OKC, and it's like they didn't even skip a beat,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. No, I'll give it to you. I think I'm going to go 76ers and the Mavs
Luka,
and Luka.
you
Yeah.
riding Doncic?
Dude, I would
Dude, your words
I'm
today.
going
Your
76.
words today. You're talking about ball ride and down. Dude, come on.
Yeah, come on.
Come
on. Word choice here.
No, I know what I'm doing.
No, I would go with Philly. I'll give them that. Dude, they're
76ers,
dude,
really.
they're on a hot streak, man. They won what?
They've always been pretty solid.
Yeah, but they've like ran away with it. Yeah, they're like
It was
two
very
games ahead.
close. Then all of a sudden now it's like it seems like they're kind of looking like a hot team.
They won us 8 out of the 10.
Yeah.
Like
That
so-
team, every year they were pretty good, had to go through LeBron, couldn't get through LeBron. And then they had Kawhi Leonard break their hearts.
Yep.
Right.
And then-
that was
that
against-
was that year.
he broke their hearts. Kawhi did his thing. Respect that man. Love
And
that
then
man.
Jimmy Butler took some scrubs in the
Yeah,
heat with
and then
Jordan
Jimmy-
Dragic. They're like, guys, we're gonna make it. All of a sudden,
Jimmy Butler
Butler's
took
like,
some kid named Tyler to the finals.
But
he took a bunch of kids who were barely out of college. Like they're like,
they're like, well, we were supposed
like-
to be bench players.
they're like, wait, the playoffs aren't just one game, and then like if we lose, we're done.
Yeah,
Jimmy's
Tyler
like, no,
Harrell's
no.
I was like, whoa, wait a second. I was the dude who wore my warm-ups and celebrated every dunk on the bench. No disrespect. I'm just making a joke.
but
Not like you'll see this.
I think it's their year. I think
It's finally it for them.
they're finally.
You gotta
clicking
trust the
at-
process.
Yeah,
The
they're finally clicking at this
process is
last end
there.
of the season. that if they can keep this heat going, they can make a deep run. They can win the finals. That's
Fair
why I'm
enough.
I was so big on the Celtics, but now they're having some injury problems. Jaylen Brown is out probably for the playoffs. So I'm going Nets because, like Harden,
Respect
KD,
that.
Kyrie, Blake Griffin. I mean, if you would have
Oh, yeah,
told Nick,
Blake's
if you would have
that
told Nick 5 years ago that
league.
was a team and he didn't pick them, I would have been like, all right, that kid's stupid. Like,
Yeah.
and then for the West, I'm going the Jazz. Not so much that they got big names. They got Donovan Mitchell, they got Rudy Gobert. They're 31-4 at home. That's an 89% win percentage at home games, and you play at least 4 games at home. Statistically, they're supposed to win 3.7 games at home. All you have to do is win 4
Yeah.
to make it to the next round. So if they win 1 game on the road, statistically,
They shouldn't even.
they're
they
guaranteed
should
to make it to the
be-
next
round.
Yeah, which
Fair enough.
is scary to look at, and there's fans in the stadiums again in almost every stadium. So now it's
Mhm.
like home court advantage does matter, and
It's coming back.
you're not playing in Disney World.
No more bubbles.
Yeah, you're playing in your own stadium.
Fair enough. I don't like their name, but I'll respect it. They're having a
Yeah, no,
31-4 at home is insane.
that is.
When I saw that, I was like, you know what? I know they were good at home, and then I looked at it. They had like a 23 game win streak at home.
But speaking of the Western Conference, do you even think the Lakers are going to do anything this year?
You can't.
Like,
I feel like you
They're
can't.
7, right? They're 7 right now.
Right now they're 7.
They're
What are they,
7.
2 behind Portland? Portland beat them and went up an extra game because I know they were 7th
Let me check.
and
right
they
now.
faced Portland and and Portland beat them. It was a huge win for the Trail.
No,
for-
they're-
Portland is 5th right now.
yeah, they're 7th.
So they're
who's 6th right now?
Dallas.
yeah, man.
So Dallas and Portland are both 40.
Oh, so Portland jumped them then.
they're both 40 and 29. So they're the same.
Okay, so yeah, they have
Yeah.
a tiebreaker over them then because like a couple days ago, going into that matchup, Portland versus the Lakers, they were 6 and
6
7.
and 7.
And I think Portland had like a game on them, and then Portland won.
So pretty much what it is right now is Portland and Dallas are 40 and 29. The Lakers are 1 game behind them. So the Lakers are 1 game away from jumping out of the play-in games.
Oh, but they hold the tie. Portland holds the tiebreaker
Yeah,
over them.
with
That's what it is.
with both teams, with the
Correct,
Mavericks and the
correct.
Lakers. So right now, if the season ended right now, the Lakers would be playing the Spurs, and then the Warriors and Grizzlies would play. So it's probably going to be those 4 teams most likely coming down to the end. So I feel like it's hard to go against LeBron in like a 7-game series, but in a 1-game series,
Anything can
Yeah,
happen.
if
he's-
who's
if-
even on is DeMar's over there in
San Antonio, yeah.
he's the big one.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, that's who you would say. And then Memphis and Golden State. I feel like if the Lakers get matched up against Golden State, that would probably be the worst case scenario for the Lakers.
Yeah, Steph.
Because if Steph gets hot and LeBron has a bad game, LeBron's out of the playoffs.
I saw something, Steph-
or the Grizzlies. Don't Ja Morant.
yeah, you're
If he has a good game,
I'm just looking at like if LeBron struggles shooting wise, he can still get to the basket. But if Steph's just nonstop draining threes,
Yeah.
you can't win making 2s while the other team's just draining threes constantly.
dude. You see, Steph is what is it, like 88 made 3-pointers behind what
Reggie Miller, Ray Allen,
Ray Allen. Ray Allen's career 3-point makes.
that's insane.
Isn't
He's
it?
That's
he's just
crazy.
a different.
He's a different breed.
He is.
Dude,
That
he
man's
is.
built
Dude,
different.
he's draining him from half
Yeah,
court.
I mean,
like nothing.
Well,
I
it's-
think Steph changed the way the NBA
The
is played.
MLB.
He definitely changed the MLB with his 3-point shooting.
Oh, for sure.
No, the NBA has become a completely different league with
Yeah,
It gets to the point where you didn't really have to guard someone right when they crossed half court. But now
you got to guard that
Steph
man
Curry,
at
you
half
do.
court.
Yeah.
Damian Lillard comes
Yep,
across
yeah,
half
'cause
court, makes
exactly.
threes.
Damian Lillard, he
and
like
it's-
paved the way.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and I agree. I think the Warriors could be a matchup nightmare if LeBron has to go through them.
I would be scared to face the Warriors in a 1-game playoff, regardless of who's healthy on the
Yeah,
team.
'cause
As long as Steph's healthy,
If
I'm
Steph is
scared.
hitting his shots like he has been,
But Lakers, do you think 1 round, 2 rounds?
if Lakers get out of the play-in games, I find it hard to root against them to not go to the conference finals, just because LeBron is just
that's tough.
he beat the Warriors when they had
When he had no business
when
beating them.
when they had Clay super healthy.
that was their
Steph
73-9 year, right?
Yeah, and they were down 3-1, and he took Kyrie and Kevin Love, who was playing like absolute trash, and they ended up winning a NBA championship.
Yeah, but I think people might come after me for this, but I think LeBron this is the year he's starting to slow down.
I've definitely
he had
seen
that high ankle sprain, and he said himself he doesn't think he'll be back to 100% from it.
No,
how old is he now? 36?
I think 38.
He's been in the league for.
He's getting up to Tom Brady numbers, but
he's been in the NBA
not to
for
knock
a
the
long
NFL,
time.
but it's a little bit easier.
You know
to do
what?
Tom
We
Brady
like to
does
think
than
everyone's
LeBron.
superhuman.
Yeah.
Tom Brady plays quarterback and avoids contact. The NBA is way more taxing on your body.
LeBron is 36.
36. So he's been in the league
right.
18 years now.
Yeah.
That's a long time I never really realized it because time kind of has flown by.
Yeah, but
I sit back and I'm like, holy crap, LeBron has been in there
since 2003.
it's most
since
of our lives.
03. I didn't even think you don't even realize it because he's been so good for so long.
Yeah.
But I think this is the year where you're starting to see it. And his comment about that ankle sprain, I'm pretty sure he knows it's the decline is starting to happen.
He needs to start having someone who could, like Jimmy Butler is not the same animal that LeBron is, just because LeBron has such a high motor. But you look at guys where, Jimmy Butler gets like a high ankle sprain, he might bounce back quicker. LeBron's now looking at I have to sit out 10 games, but the team's not as good with him.
It could just be look at Brady with his last year on the Patriots. Everyone said he was washed up, he was done. He could come back.
He could. You
never
don't know.
but
You don't know for certain.
With his high ankle sprain, I feel like if they make a long playoff run, he'll be hurt for a while.
Yeah.
If they don't make the playoffs this year, next year he'll come back. He'll just be on a different level next year.
Yeah,
he'll have a long recovery.
But I
don't think they're gonna make it to the finals.
No. I don't think so either. Nothing against him.
No, I don't think finals. I say conference finals. If he's really having a good playoff run again and this ankle doesn't hinder him, I feel like it's hard to say he won't make it there.
Yeah, it's always hard to bet against LeBron.
Yeah,
just like it's always hard to bet against Brady. There's a reason they dominate for so long.
Yeah.
I say LeBron's got this playoff run and one more season before you see
you start to see
a considerable drop
Yeah.
off. But I think he knows it too.
Yeah.
And he's got to be smarter. LeBron, even 3 years ago, doesn't sit out as many games with this ankle sprain as he did.
Yeah.
He's taking this is him doing the necessary things to prolong his health because he knows that his body can't handle it as much. And that's what happens.
And with having Anthony Davis, I feel like he has that luxury now.
Yeah, he doesn't have to be the everything guy.
I mean, one game playing, I don't know if he would. He's going to play that game.
Sit. No, he's playing the one game.
But for a 4-game series, he'd be like, hey, I might sit out an extra 10 minutes normal than I do because, I want to be healthy for the rest.
Yeah.
But talking about our beloved Bulls, which I'm scared.
Dude, I don't know. I saw it's a 0.9% chance of them making it.
They're not going to make it.
They are absolutely required to win out their last 3 games of the season, and a lot of stuff has to happen.
I'll give them credit. I think they finally hit their stride. That they're playing.
They're getting there.
They're playing their best basketball. Don't get me wrong. They won 3 straight, and I think they lost.
They just lost, last night.
But Vukovic been playing really well. I think they're finally, running through him now.
I'm looking at it as if they've had Vukovic for an entire season, they'd be a playoff team.
Yeah.
But since he came in the middle, their momentum got taken away.
It threw a wrench into everything because they had to figure out how to play together and adjust their play style. That's
Vukovic makes the team better.
No,
but
he definitely does.
when he joined the team, they got worse because they had to learn how to play with him.
Yeah, it took him a while to adjust. I don't think the Bulls are going to make it into the play-in.
Yep. They are currently 2.5 games out.
I would love to see it. I just don't. It's what? Who said it? 0.9?
Yeah. 0.9.
Yeah, it's not going to.
They have to win.
I can't say it's not, but it's probably not gonna
there's a chance.
3 more games. Or their last 3. No, is it 3 more games? I don't know how many games there are.
I think there's more than that.
Either way, they're a long shot.
Is there 13 games?
No,
I'm
dude, get
confused.
All right, Nick, take a second. Figure it out.
There's 4 or 5 games left.
I'm gonna look at how many
figure it
games
out. Bobby, you and I will talk real quick while Nick gets his it together over there.
I'm looking. I've just been thrown off by all these, ESPN.
There's lots of numbers on the screen right now. I don't.
There's too many numbers. I can't handle it.
The numbers, Mason. What do they mean? Anyways,
but
you were saying.
I think next year there is hope for the Bulls.
I agree.
There's 3 games
Yeah,
left?
there is 3
okay,
games.
there is 3 games left. Okay.
3. Official 3.
Maybe there was 4 yesterday.
I was
So
trying to do
thinking-
math to be like, how many more games is to
It's like
82? And then
Subtract, carry the 1.
I was like, why is there a 12 in my head?
Bobby just keeps
Nick,
throwing numbers at
aren't
me.
you an accountant?
No, not anymore.
Dude, he's a podcast host.
Yeah, I'm a
This is our profession.
This is my life.
But
Yeah, so they have 3 games left.
so
3.
They
and
have
they're
to
two,
win
and they're
out.
2.5 games out, which means they have to win every
they have
single
to win
game.
out, and people need to lose.
Yeah. And the Wizards have to lose.
There's hope for next year. I'll
Yeah,
agree with that. There's definitely
for
hope.
next year. But I
Um,
think it's just too little, too late.
another offseason will do them a lot of favors.
Yeah.
Bulls missing the playoffs would not make me happy as a Bulls fan, but I'm happy as a Bulls fan where the team's going.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
They're trending upwards.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, I agree.
But
They'll be there.
Yeah.
I think next year they'll be bottom half, anywhere from like 8 to 5.
They can go on one of those runs, kind of like the 76ers are now at the end of the year, where they jump up to like 4 in the Eastern Conference. Not saying they deserve to be there, but I can see them
It's
being
possible.
close
You
enough.
could see it. Exactly. I
Yeah.
agree.
And I mean, we'll have time. Like the season, I think ends right before
May.
next week. So like we'll have the entire playoff
We'll
picture in,
yeah.
and we'll definitely
I-
talk about that.
and I'm actually excited to see the Bulls offseason.
yeah, because
I think Karnisovas is going to be kind of aggressive.
I think they
in
have
certain
some. I think
areas.
they have
Yeah.
some pieces that they can get rid of, like with how the team is. Like I feel like Kobe White. I would like to see him stay. I like him as a player,
but
but
He
I
doesn't
can
work with the
Yeah.
winning
I can
team
see
still.
them dealing to someone like I'm not a huge fan of Lonzo Ball,
He
but-
would be a better fit.
but
though.
he is
Yeah.
more a facilitator now. He's very much backed off on shooting. He will still shoot when he's open. But to
He's
get
a-
a guy
he's a
that's
good fit.
a pass first point guard,
The Bulls were rumored to actually be players for him at the trade
Yeah.
deadline as well. It was kind of like they're going to get Vucevic, and then they're going to bring
and
in
get
Lonzo as
Ball.
well.
Which at the time I was more upset. Now, I'm more open to that now with seeing how he's developed over the past.
yeah,
last half
he's
of
a
the year.
he's a good fit with how he's
he's a poor,
adjusted his
poor
play
man's
style.
Chris Paul.
Sure. Yeah, I would
Sure.
say that.
Okay.
That's a fair point.
Took a second to register. I was thinking like Gordon Ramsay.
But
I
yeah.
had to go through the whole Gordon Ramsay thing.
But yeah, we'll have that for sure will be a big talking point next week. I'm assuming we might have some NFL stuff to cover next week, but I want to get into a thing that's probably going to shake up your guys' question for my question of the week this week.
Okay.
It's going to come way out of left field.
Okay.
So you get one professional athlete,
Mhm.
could be of any sport or anything.
Mhm.
They have to be a player who plays in a decent amount of plays or at bats for every single one of your city's teams. Who would you want as your athlete? So for you, Andrew, you're more of a Sox fan. So he would have to play on the Bulls for some possessions.
Oh, so I'm picking a player
You're-
that
you're-
represents every other team in
no,
the city.
So you're picking one athlete and he has to play all of the sports. So he
like,
has to play hockey.
Let's say I pick Tim Anderson. He has to play basketball. He has to play hockey. He has to play football.
and he
Okay.
still plays for the White Sox.
Oh, that's
And I would prefer it not be someone who's already in that city. So, it'd be like,
So I have to bring someone from a different
yeah.
city.
So like if you picked Freddie Freeman, like Freddie Freeman's coming
I get it
into
now.
your
I get
team.
it. I get it.
all right.
Okay.
Hmm.
Do you have your answer? Because you're gonna need to fill some time with this.
Yeah.
Well, see, for me, I wasn't looking at the Bulls. I was just looking at who I think would be able to actually play all 4 sports.
Uh-huh.
And I was looking at LeBron James in his prime. I don't think he could do more than just basketball right now.
I was literally thinking the same thing, but
But
I was like, wait, he's
I was
too
thinking
old.
he would probably struggle with hockey,
Definitely.
but he could be one of those bruiser type of players, where he just hits people.
Mhm.
He's just an enforcer.
Yeah. Just
So he does that. I mean, he's an athlete. He can jump. He can run. He could probably play tight end or wide receiver. He did in high school. He wanted to play in the NFL his whole life. Baseball, I feel like maybe Michael Jordan would outclass him in baseball, but in his prime,
White
he was
Sox great.
in his prime he was quick. He could get a chase down block.
I got my answer. So
He could
I get what
steal.
you're. Okay, so you're picking LeBron in his.
I would pick
prime.
LeBron to play all 4 sports the
All right,
best.
question. Can we pick pass? Like
Yeah,
pass?
I would
Oh,
say
okay.
you could pick
All
a
right,
pass
I
player
got
if you
mine.
Oh,
want.
it's gotta be a
And-
pass player.
No, it could be any player you want.
So I could say Bo Jackson in
Dude, come on.
No,
Why are
I
you
know.
stealing mine? That's
Are you exactly? No, it can't be
I
a
was
past
going
player
Bo Jackson.
because he was gonna do that.
Okay,
I knew it.
You can't pick a player who's played multiple
Yeah,
sports.
no,
You can't pick
Man,
Bo
I'll
Jackson.
pick Bo Jackson.
You know, he's already two.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
knew you were gonna do that. That's why once you asked that, that's why I was like, whoa.
That was immediately
All
where I
right,
was
fine,
going
Bobby.
with it.
Current player. We'll change it.
Current player?
Yeah, current player.
I have mine if you need some time.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
There you go.
I'm going with Odell Beckham Jr. I've seen that man.
Oh my, he cranked home runs at.
Yeah, batting
Angels?
practice. He was just ripping them. I don't know how well he would be at hockey, but he's just such an athlete. I'm sure he'd pick it up after some practice. I already know he can play basketball. He's posted it on his Instagram, all the crazy dunks that he does.
Like dunked footballs with Dude Perfect or something like
Yeah,
that.
I mean,
he
he's
did.
just a freak at already. We all know what he is as a wide receiver. Baseball, he can play it. Basketball, he can play it. Hockey, I'm sure if you gave him like a week or two to learn
I'm saying
ice
they
skating,
have
he
a
could be
decent.
okay.
It's not like you're putting them out there tomorrow to like.
He
go
won't
play
be
for the
an
Blackhawks.
NHL star, but you know what? I'm sure he'll be able to skate and not fall after some practice.
Yeah, I'm saying you get like a. This is like
Yeah.
in a made up world, so like you get like a month or two of practice of like learning how to skate.
I still don't think he'd be a great hockey player.
Oh no,
but
I don't think.
Hockey's just a whole
That's a different-
Yeah, like
it's the ice skating part.
but the other three.
I'm sure if you put him in like floor hockey and taught him how to do it, like shoot and everything, he'd pick it up. But the ice skating is what'll
Yeah.
get him.
Okay, Odell Beckham. That's a good one. I like
That's a
that
good
one.
one. I'm gonna go Pat Mahomes.
I thought you were gonna say Tom Brady for a second.
No,
I'm
Pat
like,
Mahomes.
I was.
He did get drafted to the MLB
Mhm.
before
So
he
did
went to
Russell
Texas.
Wilson.
Yeah, Russell
He's
Wilson.
still he.
And Kyler Murray.
I want to say I don't remember when the last time
Oh,
Russell
yeah,
Wilson
Kyler
played.
Murray.
Yeah, dude.
Russell-
He's short though. I don't think he'd do very well in basketball.
I feel
Yeah,
like
that's
Russell
what-
Wilson
that's what I was
played
thinking.
in like 2017 for the Yankees. Like he played on the spring training team.
Yeah, he did something like that.
I think so. But yeah, I'm gonna go Pat Mahomes.
He was a good pitcher.
Yeah, he's a good pitcher. I mean, he's
We already know
the
what he is as a
best
quarterback.
quarterback. I mean,
We all know.
The best.
He's
No.
he's no MVP, but
Yeah, but he's suitable.
yeah.
But
Next year, when the Chiefs play,
Hey, no offense to
Nickelodeon.
Justin Fields though. I love Justin Fields, but I mean Pat Mahomes. Obviously.
He's unproven.
Yeah,
Justin Fields is unproven. We don't know.
We don't know what his
But-
baseball game is like.
Yeah, I think he did play baseball though. If I'm right.
I'm sure he
Yeah,
did. A
I'm
lot of
pretty sure.
quarterbacks have played baseball.
What do you think Mahomes' position is basketball wise?
Basketball.
I'd be interested because I feel
Shooting
like
guard.
like Odell is
Yeah,
like
probably.
a pretty
Odell's a point guard.
like he's a pretty decent like guy. I don't know how Mahomes would do in an NBA situation.
I don't know. He'd probably be a shooting guard.
Yeah,
think
I
I'd
don't-
do that.
I don't-
Or like
I
a
don't
small
s-
forward.
no, they showed he was actually pretty good. There was something. He was at like a playing pickup basketball somewhere, and I
Yeah.
remember he fell, and everyone was like, "Oh,
Oh gosh,
everyone's like, he got his ankles
that's
broken." or
before the
something.
con.
He
the
can play.
contract.
He can play basketball.
yeah.
I would put him at shooting guard though, just because you don't need him to handle the ball as much.
But
Odell Beckham could be point guard, shooting guard.
yeah, I don't know about hockey though.
That's the wild. That's the
that's
wild
sport
card.
where they're going to be riding the bench.
Yeah,
That's,
I feel like there's no way you're picking a hockey player to play like football and baseball and basketball. Like it's a tough.
I think they could probably pick up baseball decently. Hand-eye coordination, that's huge.
yeah.
Like I'm looking at a guy like
But-
Zdeno Chara, just like a big body. Be like he can he
He
can
can
be
play
like that
center.
center where he just
Man's
puts his
taco
arms
fall.
out. Yeah.
But I would like to see Pat Mahomes pitch. Like, dude, dude,
Look
he
it
could
up.
probably throw a
He
key.
pitched.
You know
Look
what'd
it
be
up.
No, I'm
cool?
saying like
No, I
now.
know.
You know, it'd be
Like-
cool to do for it. Like, you know how they have the like Charles Barkley played golf with like Phil Mickelson and Peyton Manning and all
Oh,
those
yeah.
guys. If they did like once in a while played like a 16-inch softball game with like NFL players and like NBA players and like put them all, it'd be interesting to see like what teams could
The
like be
Bulls
made.
versus the Blackhawks in their
Yeah.
the United Center softball.
Yeah,
game.
like only one team can stay in the United Center.
Yeah.
You have to go play.
The other
you have to go
has
play
to-
a game of baseball.
you have to play 16-inch softball.
Yeah,
That would be interesting.
I think
Teams should do that.
they should.
Whatever. That was a good question though.
Yeah, that was a really good question. Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
start. I'm
Maybe.
just gonna start trying to get sports related questions that really have nothing to do with sports. in
Yeah,
today's
spice
world.
it up a little
Yeah,
bit.
you know,
I like
throw
that.
some changes in there.
Yeah, I mean, we spent a good 5-10 minutes talking about Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill.
True. Hey, Moneyball's a great movie.
It's a good movie.
I'm just
Check it
saying,
out.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
There you
Check
go.
it out. Jonah Hill, very good job.
Not a real
Anyways,
person.
Not a real person in real life.
Yeah.
That character, Jonah Hill, is a real
Yeah,
person. His character is not a real person. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. We hope you like what you heard. If you want to give us any suggestions or anything like that, you can always tweet at us at GTS Podcast 1. Still no interactions with our email. I don't see that changing anytime soon. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment whatever on our YouTube videos. We are starting to get onto that platform. Excited for it.
Just remember the question of the week is always, if you guys have a question of the week, we'll just use that.
Yeah, if you have a question of the week,
leave it
make
down
it
in the
make it
comments.
something like what Nick's doing though. Don't just make it like, oh, like what's Nick Foles going to be doing on the Bears? He's going to be on the bench. Anyways,
All right, that was
that's to answer your question, Edward. But thank you guys for tuning in. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, see you guys.
Thank you.